Agreed. Greetings and salutations.
The universe is just doomed. 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 Doomed.
Hello.
Hi, welcome back.
It's me, Nicole.
And Tessa.
And Liana is here. Oh, we didn't talk about who Liana's going to be. Are you
I
the
don't
thing?
know. Are you what you say you are? Someone here's not what they say they are. We're going to have to do a test.
Before we're done, we're going to find out
Who the thing is.
who the thing is.
Ooh.
Could be all of us at this point.
I know. By the end of this episode, it could be all of
Oh,
us.
no.
Right now, it could just be one of us.
So
It
yeah,
will
this
learn
is-
to replicate us perfectly.
If you haven't seen The Thing, what is
Oh.
wrong with you?
My God.
Get yourself to Amazon Prime and get
Immediately.
you some John Carpenter's The Thing. Not the 2011 The Thing.
No. Which
Maybe
is,
that's an adequate movie. I don't know. I didn't see it. Tessa
It's
saw it.
okay. It's okay just because.
it's
But
not.
the effects are lacking.
Right. You got to have, this
For
is all about
2011,
practical effects.
The effects are lacking. Everything is so wet in this movie, and like
is.
everything is
The
just
wetness.
like it's the illusion of wetness. And I think that's what the trick is. You actually have to build it and make it wet to make it scary.
You gotta build
You
it.
gotta
and
build
make
it and
wet.
put and cover it with goo.
If you build it, they will moisten it.
Yes, you must build it, then moisten it, and then they will come.
And before we get into the magic of The Thing, I want to
Yes.
stop and thank our newest patron, Christopher Taylor, way out in the UK.
Welcome.
Joined our most smartest tier. And as soon as I dig the stickers out of the box I stored them in when we moved,
I know.
I will send you a package.
It's been
It's been a month, and
month.
I have yet to open the boxes
Well-
labeled Doom Room because there's no more Doom
It's
Room.
sad. Don't make us
Make us
don't
think
make
about
us
it.
Do that.
I'm
I
gonna
don't
have to
wanna
just
think
order
about
new
it.
stickers. So I don't have to.
I know. I don't
open
ever
up
want to
all
look
the
at those
boxes
again. I don't ever want to look through those
and
boxes.
see all the things.
It's just
that-
the sad
Oh,
memories.
Speaking of which, everybody's been posting pictures of their clocky that finally arrived this
Oh.
week that I ordered fucking 6 months or 8 months ago.
Oh yeah.
And Kid Robot is just now sending out the clockies.
oh yeah.
And I'm like, great. Now we have absolutely no place to hang a fucking clocky.
I know. Well, we could hang it up in here. We
Yeah.
can put it up in here. Put it up somewhere.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah,
haven't got
but
it yet.
still.
Come on, Kid Robot. Get your
I
shit
know.
together.
What the fuck? I guess that took a long time. And you know what? That happened when I ordered that John Waters Funko Pop too. Like it took forever.
if you do a pre-order, just keep in mind.
Sometimes. Oh, and those shoes. I bought some shoes, and it was like I ordered them in May, and I didn't get them until like August
Wow.
or like some shit like that.
Yeah, this is taking a while. I ordered them this year, but like early this year. And it did say expected shipment Q3 or Q4 2024.
Oh, fourth quarter? We don't discuss new business until next quarter?
Exactly.
Okay. All right, Kid Robot. All right.
But if we get it, when we get it, I will be posting pics to the Instagram.
Of course.
Doom Generation Pod. Just throwing it in there. Just
Smooth.
subliminally. Subliminally. So let's get into the thing.
Let's do or let the thing get into you.
Don't let the
no.
thing get into you.
Don't let it get into you. Well, we have fine ass Kurt Russell.
It's MacReady.
MacReady.
Only it's spelled MacReady.
MacReady because he's always ready, bitch. He's always ready.
Mac is always
you notice
ready.
that everybody kind of defers to him, and that's
Yep.
because of the power of that mustache and that beard
Ex-
and that
exactly,
hair. That took him a
exactly.
year.
To grow his hair like that?
Yeah, it took him a year to grow all that shit out. And did you know that it was supposed to be Nick Nolte?
I wouldn't know.
With his
I'm
weird
not buying
blonde beard?
Nick Nolte as Mac.
Weird beard, weird blonde beard.
Weird beard Nolte.
Yeah, that's what
McNulty.
Nick Nolte.
Hey, we got a McNulty.
Nick Nolte, Nick Nolte. That's how I used to
Nick
call
Nolte?
you. Leona Nick Nolte.
So yeah, Kurt Russell is Mac. Wilford Brimley as Blair.
Without a mustache,
So weird.
which is the weirdest part of this
with
movie.
brown hair
And
no
we
mustache.
also found out 48
48.
years old.
Only 3 years older than me.
I am 5 years younger than Wilford Brimley in this movie.
Wow.
Well, you don't have diabetes.
Well,
don't have
that's true.
diabetes.
I mean, he did say the gross stuff didn't bother him because of like wars, and between that and the beatus, that's why he looks like that, I guess.
Okay.
And
makes
then
sense.
he had to eat oatmeal for the rest of his life.
That's all. You
Bland.
can only eat oatmeal.
He couldn't
forever.
handle anything wilder than an apple
That's all you
and
get.
cinnamon sugar. Well, the cocoon, that didn't even bother him.
No. He was used to it. He
Nope.
was used to the gross things.
Jessica Tandy's pussy didn't even fucking move the needle.
He's all, I had to eat a lot of beef jerky when we were stranded out in Antarctica.
Oh. No, you know she kept it tight. She kept it right.
Oh, Jessica.
Oh, Jessica Tandy.
Oh, Jessica Tandy. R.I.P. That sweet, sweet pussy.
It is known that Jessica Tandy had the sweetest pussy in Hollywood.
If you don't know, Google it. Don't Google Jessica Tandy's pussy, you guys. Don't do it. Don't do it. Coming up next, we got Keith David as Child.
Yes, in his feature film debut.
Oh, was it really?
It was indeed.
Harry on Death by DVD, every once in a while, he would do a little segment called Keith David or David Keith. And he would just name off movies. and it
Sometimes
was
I
just
don't know.
Keith David or David Keith.
Is there a person named David Keith?
I think it's the dad from the original Parent Trap is David Keith, I think.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you're not to be confused.
No.
At all.
You are not to be
No.
confused. You are not to be confused.
But anybody with two first names, it's hard
Oh, yes.
when your last name's a first name.
It's hard to trust a person like that. Like Kurt Russell.
Right?
T.K. Carter as Nauls.
Richard Masur as Clark.
David Clennon as Palmer.
Richard Dysart as Dr. Copper.
Charles Hallahan as Norris.
Peter Maloney as Bennings.
I almost said Peter Maloney as Baloney.
Peter Maloney Baloney.
I don't know. Eyebrows Donald Moffat as Garry.
Joel Polis as Fuchs.
Phew. And this, Thomas G. Waits as Windows.
Adrian Barbeau as the computer voice.
And Jed, the dog.
Oh, his name was Jed?
Yeah, it was a Alaskan Malamute wolf mix. The
Oh.
thing dog is Jed.
Okay.
So,
Jed, you're adorable.
I
Until
know.
you're not.
well, I don't want to pet that dog.
No, don't
We're like,
touch
can I pet that dog? Oh, never
Nope.
mind.
Nope.
Never mind. It's got the goo.
So we get our opening where a UFO is flying near the Earth.
Oh.
And it catches on fire. I don't know. It's
I don't
having
know. It's
some
like it burns
technical
in.
issues or something. I don't
It
know.
is having technical difficulties.
And it burns right into the opening credit.
Oh,
the opening
shit.
title.
And this was meant to replicate the original title screen of the thing from outer space where they took a fish tank and filled it with smoke and backlit it and then put a garbage bag over it and then lit it up. so
Yeah,
that it
this
made
was like a burning garbage bag was the
Yeah.
background of what you
So-
saw burning on
and
the
then
thing.
it's-
Because this was a movie John Carpenter saw as a kid and
Yeah.
knew the story and he decided they didn't do it right.
Or
it wasn't
something.
the movie, which was called The Thing from
the thing from outer space.
It didn't do justice to the
the
amorphous
story.
form that was
Right.
in the story.
Right.
So
'cause
this
I think
was
that's
his,
what he read it and was like, oh, I get it now because it was a different thing that he was going to go with, I guess. And then he read it and was like, oh, it's a different story that I want to tell. And this is the first of his Apocalypse trilogy,
Oh, okay.
which is this, Prince of Darkness, and In the Mouth of Madness.
Oh, which we're getting to
Oh,
next year.
mhm,
Coming
we
up
are.
soon. So, yes, we're in Antarctica, winter of 1982,
Yes.
and a helicopter is flying over the endless snow.
Right. And they're looking for something, and you find out it's old Jed down there running through the snow.
And this dog is fast as fuck, boy.
I
This-
know. It's
this
like
copter
fucking
is not catching
out
up
there.
to this dog.
That's that wolf in him. He's like out there dodging bullets. They're like,
That's a Tom Cruise dog right there.
right? He runs so fast.
He
You know
runs-
what? Tom Cruise should have raced this dog
Right? That's the only way we'll know for sure.
because I'm
How
pretty
fast
sure
is Tom Cruise?
Pretty sure Jed's not still living.
And
this
it's a good
being
thing that the
1982.
Norwegian copter pilots are fucking stormtroopers and can't hit a
Oh, I know.
motherfucking
And
thing.
throw a bomb backwards, like whoops. Whoopsie fucking daisy.
So yeah, they're chasing this dog, and the dog just seems so innocent. Like it ain't
I
doing
know.
nothing. It's just running through the snow.
I don't know, man. I feel like I'd be like, okay, so what are they doing up there? Is it like medical research or something? Like
it
what-
never really says.
Is that dog sick? Like what are they?
Never really says.
Nobody ever really questions that. But if you understand Norwegian, they give it away in like the whole thing. Like,
Oh, really?
That's not a dog. That's it's fucked up. Like they killed everybody or like whatever. He's saying
all of that stuff when they,
or at least something close to it. Either that or like don't trust the dog. It's not a real dog. Something like that.
So yeah, so they're a terrible shot, and they end up chasing this dog all the way to the U.S. National Science Station,
Right.
Which they're researching. We don't ever find out what they're out there researching.
They're just out there hanging
you know,
out.
snow science.
Yeah, the science of snow, as everybody knows.
And inside, everything's all chill. They're playing ping pong.
I know. Palmer's over there getting lit. He's always high.
He is, and Mac's always drunk.
Right.
He's always
and
drinking.
there's like and Gary's like a military guy. Like I don't understand.
I'm not sure what the combination of people is here.
Like I don't know what they're doing. Like I feel like I don't even know what the Norwegian ones were doing because they cover that in the prequel that came out in 2011. Like
they say
that's
what they were doing out there.
Yeah, the story is that team.
Okay.
Or whatever. So I don't know what they're doing. It's like sciencey shit.
So yeah, everyone starts to notice like, what the fuck? There's a helicopter buzzing around in a circle outside
They're like
our
everybody
fucking
comes
station.
out to see what's going on, and the dog runs in and jumps on one of the guys.
It was probably Clark. No, it wasn't Clark because he came out after.
Yeah, he came out afterwards. But then the Norwegian guy comes out and blows up his own fucking helicopter in himself.
Fuck? Yes. Like, how did he even? Isn't even really like he sort of tripped in the snow and like threw
he
it backwards?
didn't even fucking trip. He went to throw it at them
and
the
threw it
dog
behind
and like
him.
dropped it backwards like a fucking Looney Tune.
Yes, and then just pow.
Yeah, like he Elmer Fudded himself.
He did.
And the helicopter. And what was he gonna just run away from the fucking helicopter? The other guy already did.
Right. Yeah, I don't know.
Whatever. Anyhow, he blows himself up. The other guy goes running with the gun. He starts shooting again. He grazes one of the guys.
He shoots not Bennigan. What is his
Bennings?
name? Bennings.
Tony Baloney.
Tony Baloney. Yes, he shoots him like in the leg or something.
Right, he like grazes his leg, and they're like, "Oh fuck, what the fuck?" And then he keeps chasing the dog. Garry,
fucking eyebrows Hoolihan over here.
Right? Oh fucking
I told
he
Tessa I
senses it.
didn't know because they don't say everybody's names right away,
Right.
and I couldn't remember what the actors were versus the names
Right.
besides like a couple of them, and so for I don't know the first 3 times I write it, Gary's name is eyebrows Hoolihan because
Right.
you know who I'm talking about.
Who he is.
Hip gun hip. Eyebrows Hoolihan.
Hip gun. He's got like the old Western pistol.
And who's he? He's the sheriff of the fucking research
Right,
station.
he's like the military guy. I don't know what his fucking job is, but he breaks the fucking thick ass windows
with the butt of his gun and
like
shoots
manages to
the
shoot the guy
Norwegian.
dead.
And now
they just let this fucking dog.
a meteorologist.
That's
He's
what
a
he is?
meteorologist.
Is he up there telling him what the fuck the weather is? It's snowing.
with a gun on his hip?
He's gonna shoot at the snow.
All right.
Serious weather.
He's a Wild
He's
West
a,
meteorologist.
He's a Wild West or no Wild South
or wherever the fuck Antarctica
meteorologist.
is.
They're at that's the bottom,
Pole?
right? The South Pole.
I don't know, man.
I think so.
We're from America. We don't.
I know we don't know
geography.
things. I feel like Nauls says
Cold
something
places.
about being
Could
down
be the top
here.
or the bottom.
I feel like he says something about being down
here. Okay. So yeah, now oh no, they don't know what the fuck. Why were these
Right.
people chasing the dog?
Oh, I don't know. I guess we'll tend to your bullet wound and we'll just let this fucking dog roam
Clark,
around.
the dog wrangler, comes out to get the
Right.
dog,
They're like, yeah, go do something with this dog, and he just lets it.
and it seems fine. It's all
Right,
being
it's
cute
friendly.
and
It's
friendly.
like well, I guess they figure it's like because I would imagine they have the other dogs for like a sled or sleigh or whatever a sledge, like the White
Sled
Queen
dogs,
of Narnia.
yeah.
But
yes,
yeah, like
the White
I
Queen
know.
of Narnia.
She's not the real queen.
We're gonna have to do the BBC miniseries.
Oh, I
of-
know, but I know the other one, the animated one, is the one that I like.
Oh,
though.
really? We had to watch the BBC one in school, and that became like the one that I knew of.
No, that one, the animated one, made that Turkish delight look so good that you'd sell out your entire family. And it's a lie.
It's a
'cause
lie.
It's so
It's
gross.
not good.
It's not good.
You want to eat perfume?
No, I don't. You want it that? You know what? It's a bath bead.
Yep.
That's what it is.
Didn't we just talk
We
about
were
bath
just
beads?
talking about that, and I couldn't place it until just now because
Turkish
I
Delight.
remembered Turkish Delight is a bath bead, and it's gross. And it doesn't even have the satisfaction of biting into that weird dissolvable plastic.
Oh no, it doesn't. So Dr. Copper and his nose ring.
I did not notice
He
that.
has a fucking nose ring.
I did
He has
not
a loop.
notice that.
I don't know if it's because my TV's so big, but he has a tiny little
Interesting.
nose ring on the side.
Like I'm gonna be able to see it from here.
Either
We have
that
it
or
on.
he's
in
got
here.
a fucking mole that was insane.
He might have had
because
an insane mole.
We have it on in the background. We'll see when
I'm
it
not
shows
gonna be able
Dr.
to see that
Copper.
far,
It's
but
before
yeah,
then.
that's
But
interesting.
yeah,
I
just like
didn't-
a little gold hoop
huh.
around the corner of his nostril, and I was like,
Who
That's
are
an
these
interesting-
people?
Yes, who's Dr. Copper?
I mean, I feel like I could do this as long as I had enough books, and as long as I had
be out
enough
in
long
the research
movies
station
for
Yeah,
like.
'cause we don't go nowhere.
No, I know. Like I don't go nowhere. As long as I could be like
Does
Palmer.
the internet work?
That well,
And
see,
we're
now
at
that
weed?
would be the problem. That's what I'm saying. I'm trying to think of it without internet and without being able to watch television.
Well, in 1982, when there wouldn't have been internet
Well,
anyway,
yeah.
sure.
Well, yeah.
If you get your
You don't
roller
know any
skates like
better.
Nauls.
Oh, I'd have roller skates for sure.
Which is a weird choice that he decided to bring roller skates
Well,
to
it's
the
all
Antarctica
concrete.
fucking research station.
Right? Like you're going outside. Well, I mean, I guess he figures because isn't he work in the kitchen mostly?
yeah.
Like he does like the back and forth with the
It
meals
seems like
and
it, yeah.
whatever.
Like he's kind of just the chef
He
or
has
whatever.
to be. Oui, chef.
He's not a science guy.
No.
He's not Bill Nye the science
No,
guy.
he's not.
Bill Nauls the science guy.
Bill Nauls, the science guy.
And so yeah, the doctor sews up the bullet wound, and
Mm-hmm.
they can't. Windows can't get nobody on the radio, and
No.
Blair's like, "Come on, reach somebody." And he's like, "I haven't been able to reach anybody in 2 fucking weeks.
Right,
Like, why
like,
would I be able to
nobody's
reach
out
somebody
here.
suddenly now?"
No, like nothing is going on out there. I don't know where anybody is.
And Nauls runs in like, "Well, maybe we at war with Norway." Like,
Right?
I don't know what's happening.
I don't know.
And so we meet. We don't meet everybody because
No,
new
they're-
people keep cropping up. That you're like, "Where the
Right.
fuck did you come from?"
Right, they're
You're
here
in
and
the
there and
station
everywhere.
too?
Like, what do you do here?
Right? So they're Dr. Copper wants to go check the Norwegian station, and the pilot,
Yeah.
the main pilot's the guy who got shot. So they're like,
Right.
So Palmer's
Like,
like,
he
"Well, I'll
can't-
fly you." He's like,
No, you're too high.
Mac, you fly me."
Right. He's like, he looks around like,
It's a snowstorm.
we
like,
can't
really
go up
right
in there.
now.
He's like, if we go up there, you could scratch off a pilot and a doctor.
And this outfit, the hat
I
especially,
know.
he hated it. Chris said
Did he?
read somewhere that Kurt Russell fought this outfit
Really?
because the hat was so goofy.
well, it is.
It's very goofy.
Like, he's-
it's not even like a warm fur hat or like
No,
it's like a
he doesn't
weird
need it because of all the hair.
strapped on cowboy sombrero.
Be like,
I
come
don't
on,
know.
Kurt Russell, you're into this Western shit, aren't you?
But yeah, I guess he was.
Isn't
not a
this
fan
your
of
fucking
this.
zhuzh, bro?
He's like,
Is
I
this
spent
before
all
he
this time
discovered
growing
that?
my hair out and getting hot, and you're gonna make me put a hat over it,
Right? Because I told you in that the audiobook I listened to where it describes what he looks like, and it's like
he's all
he was bronze, his hair was bronze, his eyes were bright, he was a bronze statue, he was a lumbering large man. I don't know. I think the author was hot for MacReady. I think he was hot
Seriously.
for all these people, actually, if I'm honest with you.
So yeah, so MacReady's like, "Fine, I'll fucking take you." And the dog's still just chilling.
Yeah,
like
just
dog seems fine.
Looking
Don't suspect the
around,
dog.
it's just hanging out in the rec room. Everything's chill.
he
Everything's
creeping
good.
though. He's starting to
Creeping, sneaking, peeping. He comes out like, "Oh, what's going on over there?" And here come out the dog, just looking around in the hallway, and see a little silhouette in there. And Nauls is in there listening to Superstitious.
yes.
And the guy's like, "Can you keep it down? I was shot today."
And he's like, "Yeah, sure." And then he
Yeah,
turns it
it's
up.
like,
yeah.
whatever.
So Mac and the doc, they find the Norwegian encampment all in smoke.
Right? They're like, "Oh no, this doesn't look good."
And they go in. He's like, "Hey, Sweden, anybody there?"
Yeah,
he's like, "It's Norwegian
again.
They find a bloody axe in a door, and everything's all
like,
broken.
"Oh,
There's icicles
uh-oh."
all hanging off everything on the inside, and blood.
Right, and they find the guy in the chair, like all frozen, and he's like cut his own throat.
And like his blood froze mid drip. Damn, it's cold out there.
Well, because they go over what occurs in this space in that other movie. Like it's not great, but it's worth watching just because of this. Watch this first.
We're actually in that.
Oh, are we in that
scene
space
where
right
they're in
now?
the where
Wow,
they're in the place.
look
We
at what
matched
we
it up.
did. I thought it was going to be all fucked up, but
Speaking
no, not
of
really.
which, Mac finds a big Encino Man cube
Right.
with something dug out of it in
Right,
the
like,
Norwegian camp. Like, what the fuck
That's
is this?
weird. That's
Swedes
strange.
unearthed something. Fossil, animal.
I don't know, but it's not here now, whatever it is. And there's all kinds of carnage and shit. And there's video recordings and a bunch of notes, but it's all in Norwegian.
Yeah, so the doc gathers up like some information, whatever, and they go outside and they find this thing. in
This
the
thing,
snow.
it's like a twisted
part.
part.
Okay, let's see if it's on the screen right
know.
now. Can we describe it? I don't even know. It's like
there's gas cans. It's in like it's steaming.
there's like two faces kind of melted
Right.
together and some random arms sticking out and, like
it's
a
got
tiny
the long
leg.
fingers and like
Yeah.
a little chicken leg.
And I believe this was the sculpture that one of them, I think it was the guy who plays Norris in the behind the scenes thing, was talking about how before they made this thing all slimy.
Yeah.
Like when he saw just the sculpture, he was like, it's the most beautiful and most grotesque fucking thing I've ever seen. Like,
Because
it
once
was
they
so
bring
well
it back,
done. Right. And it's so slimy.
oh,
Once it
it's
starts
so, like
defrosting.
it's putrefying or whatever. And I guess that's what they're doing. Because at first, when he's like,
I thought they were going to bury it.
same. When he's like, well, get a shovel. I was like, dude, your honor.
Right? But
Too
no,
much.
let's bring it back.
Yeah.
This fucking grotesque pile
I mean,
of...
I guess you'd want to know what the fuck that is. I'm assuming they're scientists of some sort.
Right, it's a
whatever.
research
so,
station.
like,
Let's
yeah,
research
so
it.
Let's research it. That's what they're doing out there.
And this corpse, holy shit, when you
Oh
get the
my
close
God.
up, it is steaming, wet, stinking.
Nasty, twisted. Like, did it all burn together? Like, what do you fucking think that is?
Yeah, I don't know.
If you saw
you find
something
it,
like
yeah.
that with like the little fingers and the faces all twisted together, like what would you think that is?
I don't know. Like, two
did
people
they
got
find
melted
that?
together.
Yeah,
or
like I don't know. It didn't burn that fucking hot. It was just gasolines.
And the dog, when he sees him coming back, the dog
like,
gets a look
watching.
like,
Uh-oh. Like, uh-oh.
they're
They're going to see my thing.
It's so wet.
It's so wet.
Oh, it's so gooey. It's so good.
So Blair's got to do an
And this is
autopsy on
what,
it.
Ron Bottine?
Ron Bottine,
Rot-
yeah, or Bottine.
Bottine, I think it is. But
Or
like
Rob
Rob?
Bottine? I
yeah,
think
maybe
so.
that's what it is. But yeah,
And he's kind
amazing.
of hot. He kind of looks like
Oh, is he?
MacReady. He was in the behind the scenes thing.
hold on,
and
let
at
me-
least back when they filmed that, which was right after this, he had the beard, the hair.
Hey, he got
he was given a
into
little
it.
IRL Mac.
Let's check it out here.
And they did in the behind the scenes thing, they had Stan Winston who helped a little bit, and he made sure to say like,
Yeah.
oh, no, I did like one thing.
Right,
This
right,
is
right,
this
right,
dude's-
right.
This
His
guy
whole
gets
vision.
all the credit.
He's
I did like
6'5".
he kind of hot. I don't know if he still is, but he was kind of hot in the.
I
fucking
mean,
behind the
I
scenes
could.
thing.
Okay, all right. I'm seeing. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, is he still?
No, I don't
Or
know
is-
about
or
still, but
showing
I'm
you-
seeing this
Yeah, yeah.
magician ass. Look at
Yeah,
this.
yeah. But he was like kind of.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, he got the beard, the hair.
Right. He's got that very early 80s look to him. I don't know what he looks like today.
So yeah, so they cut open this thing.
Yeah.
First, they cut open the dude and the Norwegian dude that they shot, and they're like, "Well, he's fine. He's not on drugs. He's not drunk. He
Yeah,
seems
like there's
fine."
nothing, everything. He seems perfectly healthy except for all of this. All his organs are normal.
Oh yeah, so then they cut open the thing, and they're like,
Oh, and
"Well,
it's
the
all
insides
gooey.
are all normal except
He's
for they're
pulling
extra
out
gooey."
all the gelatinous livers and pancreas. Oh, Wilford Brimley in there. Could you imagine?
So yeah, so they do the autopsy.
Is he doing it with his bare hands?
It looks like he's not even wearing gloves. I don't know. Let's see. No, he just
Oh,
no.
the
That's the
doc
doctor.
is.
The doctor's wearing gloves. Oh yeah, and they find these like
Oh,
shredded
right.
long
the
johns.
clothes are all shredded.
But nobody's owning up to whose long johns are these.
Well,
Oh, here we
Nauls
go, where
finds
he's
it in
pulling
the
out the
kitchen.
fucking-
Okay, no, he's wearing gloves.
Oh yes, he does. They're just clear. He's
They
got
look
gloves
like
on.
little hand condoms. You can't really tell.
So
oh,
now-
it's so wet.
After this, they're watching. What's his name? Palmer's watching a game show on VHS.
I think it's what did I say? Let's make a deal. I think it is. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, I know how this ends.
And look at the size of that hooter he
I
rolled.
know.
How long are they there, and how much weed did
That
he
was
bring
like
with
a
him? Because
spliff.
he is not trying to.
I bet you that's what he just packed mostly. He
Just
packed
those.
boots and a winter jacket, some winter pants, and like 8 pounds of weed for like the winter.
And I totally like.
Perfect.
I
I
know
know.
why men love this movie.
I know.
This like all boys rec room,
Yep.
pool table.
I know it smells crazy in there.
It smells crazy in there. Not as bad as it could because everything's cold.
Right. If it was a warm place, it would be
it would be
funk
much
central.
worse. It would be
Bam,
much worse.
bam, bam, bam,
And
bam,
all these
bam, bam,
dogs.
bam. Oh, the dogs.
The dogs.
The dogs. The fucking dogs.
And this dog is still just running around.
I know,
loose,
it's
and
in the
finally
goddamn
Bennings
rec
is
room.
like, "Will you put Clark,
I
put
know.
this fucking
You need to
dog
go
with
put
the
the
dogs.
dog in the
dag
kennel.
with the dogs.
You gotta put the dag with the other dogs. He's getting lonely with the other dogs.
And when he takes it, like you can tell, Clark sort of senses the dog like it doesn't want to go in the pen with the other dogs.
Right. He's like, well, go ahead.
And then when it goes in, like the way it just kind of stiffly lays down in the middle.
Oh, because you know what's about to fucking happen.
And he shuts off the light and leaves, and then this dog starts making this weird ass noise. And then its face splits open like a fucking demogorgon, and licorice ropes whip out.
Licorice whip.
It is.
that happening?
It's like
Oh, no,
wet
it's the
licorice. We're right before he's about to send him in.
Yeah.
So yeah, and like spider or crab legs fucking grow out of it.
Out of
it's so many. It's the thing.
It's the thing. It's got legs. It's
There's
got legs.
There's not a better name for it. And the real dogs are like chewing the wire cage open to get away.
They're like freaking out, and I feel so bad
because they really were freaking out.
I'm sure. Well, I guess to get them to start freaking out, they had somebody got in like a jacket, big old like heavy jacket, and went around the outside like scratching and fucking tapping and pissing them off and freaking them out and shit. And then I guess at least one of them got sprayed down with goo.
Yeah, I was gonna say the one that got squirted with fucking
I know,
goo,
and
had
that
to
was
be
the
super
smart one
pissed.
that was trying to chew its fucking way
Yeah.
out of there. I wonder if that was like not even scripted. This poor fucking animal,
Just got
this
hosed
poor
down.
Malamute.
Just got hosed down with the pink goo.
Well, no, was trying to chew their way out because what the fuck is this? I thought
Right?
this was like my cousin. Next thing I know,
And so Clark hears the ruckus and comes back,
I
but
was
now
like,
the
"You
light
don't
won't
hear
come
this
on.
shit?" Yes, well, and I wrote that too. I'm like, turn on the fucking lights.
He did, and it didn't come on.
I missed that part.
So he opens up the door, and one of the dogs just like
It's like,
tramples
nope.
his ass, like
Right?
fucking, I'm out of here.
The gooey smart dog, I think, was the one that ran out of there.
And he sees them wet licorice ropes.
Oh, there it goes.
Oh, and he tries to he slams the door shut. Cut to Matt getting a beer when he hears the commotion and pulls the fire alarm.
Right, and everybody comes running, and the other guy goes to see Childs, and he's like, Mac wants the flamethrower. And he's like
right
"What?"
away, right off the bat,
Well,
he
'cause he
knew
goes
without
in
even
there to
seeing.
s-
He
Oh,
didn't
no,
even
he
see
didn't
it
even
yet.
see it.
He took the flamethrower before he even knew what was coming.
That's interesting.
6 people there. Why is the fire alarm behind glass?
Right? Why
in
is
there?
the fire alarm
'Cause
behind
if they-
glass?
in
It's
case they
a
just
few
can't
people.
help
Oh, here
themselves.
we go with the dog chewing
Oh,
up the
no.
fucking. Oh, them crab legs.
Oh, I want to gnaw on them. They look
Getting
delicious.
squirted.
Ah, not the
No.
goo. That poor dog.
So when they come in, Mac shines the light on the dog, and it's so very wet and gross.
Oh, it's like a whole big mound of
Tentacles
dogs
and
like
other
tentacles,
dogs.
and it's wet, and it's in the corner all.
And they all start shooting at it, and it like grows a giant hands out of its back
like
and
it
tries to
shoots
pull
tentacles
itself.
out at the other dogs.
Right.
And Clark's over there like, no.
I know he's getting all upset that they shot his dog, but like your dog was not going to live through this.
Well, that and it's probably sometimes it's kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. So yeah, it pulls itself up, them little crabby legs waving around.
and it gets all up in
and you
the
can see them
ceiling and, like,
eyeballs.
la, 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 la.
And then the face splits open, and the fucking flower made of dog tongues and teeth.
Oh, and I didn't
pops
know
out.
that until you told me that.
And
that's
I didn't know that till I watched
specifically
the
what it was.
behind the scenes thing. That flower that pops out is made of dog tongues lined with dog teeth.
Oh,
So if you never noticed, pay attention.
look at it! Look at it!
So they hit it with the flamethrower, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry, they don't let it burn nearly long enough for
No,
my
that's
taste.
I have that very same note. Like I feel like it needs to. I know they're indoors,
But
I
still,
know they're indoors.
let-
but it's
if it's
cold,
not spreading,
and it's a shed, and
let it
it's like,
burn.
yeah, let that shit. Did you see that shit?
We don't need no water.
Let the motherfucker burn.
What?
Burn, motherfucker.
Burn it.
And after they put it out, and I guess they really did start
Light
a
it on
fire
fire?
and then hand the actors fire extinguishers, and that was a real them putting out
Them
a fire.
putting out that fire.
Yeah.
They started the fire and they had to put it out too.
And no one says a word. They just kind of
No, they're like, what the fuck did we just witness right now?
So cut to the next morning.
You would think that they would think that, oh, maybe that was why they were trying to shoot that dog.
Right? Problem solved.
Hey, we
understand.
figured that out. That's not good. We better put a lid on this shit. Maybe we should shoot that dog.
And I'm not really sure why the move for Blair in doing the autopsy is to crack off a crab claw like he's going to dip it in some butter.
He's like, I'm going to have some scampi.
Like, you wouldn't keep that whole thing preserved? Like, if you're trying to be sciencey about it,
I don't know.
why are you cracking it open? You got a butter
Maybe
dip
he's-
nearby?
He's got a little garlic Little garlic
Little
butter.
garlic butter.
Dripping off the side.
It's got
That's why he
green
shaved
goo
his
guts.
mustache.
He didn't want
He
to get
didn't
no
wanna
garlic
get-
butter in there.
Thing butter in there.
Thing butter. So Blair realizes right away. He opens it up and is like, "Oh, this is a life form that impersonates other life forms. Like this is all.
Obviously.
It was trying to absorb our dogs, and this is all parts of
Right.
the dogs inside."
And now do you think he was already like thinged?
I don't know because then he goes crazy trying to figure out what the thing is after this. So I
Right,
don't
'cause I don't
think
know if he-
yet, but I don't know.
But then how else would he have gotten thinged when he was locked up in the shed?
I don't know. And I have questions when we get to the shed also. So we'll get
Right.
there.
Okay. We'll save our questions until we get there.
So they drug the remaining dogs and asked Clark if he noticed anything strange about that dog and why did you let it wander the rec room? And he's like, I don't know. I just
it was fine.
And then Blair's like, wait a minute. When did you put the dog in the kennel?
He's like, so it's been out here. He's like, I don't know. Like, he's like, how long were you alone with it?
I don't
He's
know,
like,
hour
an
and a half.
Alone with it?
He's just looking at him. He's like, what's wrong?
Nothing.
Probably nothing.
Nothing. It's all good.
Nothing at all.
Whatever. But then he tells them, or no, not yet, to watch Clark, but not yet.
Not yet. So they're watching the footage from the Norwegian tapes.
Right. And there's 9 hours of this shit. And they're like, what? Is
And-
there anything?
And at first, there's nothing interesting. They're like,
Right.
whatever. It's just these dudes slapping each other on the back and being
Right.
like, woo,
but
science.
then it's like a whole, like
They
right
find
after they
straight
say,
up a UFO. In
right
the
after
ice.
they say there's no point in watching the rest of, like, fast forward, bro.
Right? You don't have FF in 1982?
And what? You ain't got the fucking time? I mean,
What else you doing? Do you want to solve
what
this
else you
mystery or
doing
not,
right
Scooby?
now? Like, come on, Scrappy Doo.
And so they find there's a big old thing in the ice. It looks like a UFO,
Right, and
and
they're
they
like,
put
"Oh."
some thermochargers on there and blast it.
And like, oh, they fucking blew it all up. So they're like, where is this? They were up 5-6 miles.
Yeah, they check on
From
the
where
map
they
where
were.
the Norwegians were spending all their time, and now Mac's like, I want to go.
I want to see
wanna
this
go see
shit.
this
Let's
spot.
go see what's going on over here. So they fucking go.
And they find the spot, and it is clearly the top of a UFO,
Right.
which they didn't even go down in. They gave me like X-Files. Remember the X-Files
Yes.
movie? But they actually go down into the ship. I was
Right,
like, go
right,
in the
right.
ship.
There is an X-Files episode called Ice. I think it's just called Ice. That's a direct either homage or
To the
whatever
thing.
to the thing.
Yeah. So they throw some ropes down, and they go to check it out.
Yes.
It's at least 100,000 years old
Right. 'cause
worth of
the-
ice.
Yeah, the ice is that old.
And they find nearby like this rectangle dug into the ice.
Just like the one that was in the research tent.
Just happens to be exactly the same size.
Weird. So something crashed here 100,000 years ago,
And
crawled out, and froze in the ice.
And before we find out what that thing is, if we do,
I don't know.
we're going to take a quick break.
We gotta do a thing.
We'll be right back. A thing. We're right back. And we're back.
We are back.
So Mac tells the gang what's going on, and if this thing crawled out and froze in the ice,
Right.
and they're like,
And then the Swedes blew it up and woke
Palmer's
it up.
like, yeah, it happens all the time, man. Government
Yeah.
knows all about it.
Right.
UFOs
There's always,
landing all the time.
always, and especially out here where shit's spooky and remote.
And they're asking Mac like what it all means, and he's like, ask Blair.
I don't know.
And fade to black. Blair's
Right?
like,
He don't answer shit. Blair ain't got no kind of answers. He's just sitting there being fucking cryptic and 48.
and so cut to him on the computer showing some dogs and cells assimilation screen.
Right. He's
I don't
doing
know.
like a little computer simulation about what the cell does, and it's like fully assimilates. He does a little computer math about
Yeah, that if it gets out, the whole world will be infected within 27,000 hours of contact from the first time this thing
from
gets
first
into something
contact,
else.
and that there's a 75% chance one or more of the crew that are just there are
Is already
infected,
infected.
already.
So cut to Mac looking at that dirty long johns that
Right. He's
that
checking
they found
out these
earlier. Like,
chonies.
whose are these? And drinking more.
Right. Have a little JB.
And he goes out. They're locking the body up. They're like, you know what?
Yeah,
we're
we
putting this thing in storage. Like,
we want you to
nobody
move
come
your
near
shit.
it.
We're going to use this to store all these twisted fucking bodies.
But Fuchs wants to talk to Mac outside, and he's like, outside.
I want to
It's
go
fucking
home
40
to my
degrees.
shack
I want
and
to go
get
to my shack.
drunk. I
And
don't want
so-
to talk.
And so they leave. Windows leaves Bennings alone with the body.
Right. They're getting all their shit out of there, and Bennings is like, well, I want to get some more stuff out of here. Go get the keys from Garry. Meanwhile, Mac and Fuchs
Yeah.
go out to talk in the little snowcat thing outside.
Right. And he tells him something's wrong with Blair. He's locked himself in his room, but I got his notes, and in his notes,
It's like it could have infected 1,000
it's
planets,
saying,
and
like
1,000
it's
solar
imitating anyone
systems.
at any time. All you got to do is be in close proximity and alone. And so Windows comes back in and finds a bloody fucking mess. Raspberry jam all over the room.
Right. Like, oh no, not the raspberry jam. Only one man has the balls to give me the raspberry.
And he finds it like absorbing Bennings. It's got its little
it's got its
licorice
little,
ropes and Bennings.
Not as licorice ropes. It's what is it? Not red vines. What's the thing that they had in the Mirthmobile?
It was just
Just
licorice
red
rope,
rope?
right? Red rope? Something like that? Yeah, I think so.
Licorice.
And he runs out to get Mac, and they run back in, and now Bennings is gone.
He was like, I
And the
swear I
window's
just
broken.
seen him there. And he was like, oh, but the window's broken. So he runs out into the snow. Everybody's out there chasing him.
And almost Bennings, but not quite. Because
He
look at the
falls
hands.
over.
Fucking
Yeah, he's
weird
got
ass.
but
long.
then, it's the hands, but also he turns and looks at Mac and he's like,
that sound it makes.
Oh,
Now
no.
that part I
His
did not
face?
catch in the behind the scenes. Do you know what the sound is?
I have no
I did
idea
not.
what the
I don't know what
sound
the
is.
sound
That
is.
would be an interesting
Because it
thing
does it
to
a
know.
few times where it makes the thing sound.
Yeah, like what is the thing sound?
And Mac lights it up.
Burn that shit right down. Then kick over the little gasoline tubs and light his ass right up.
And Eyebrows Hoolihan, he don't get it. He's like, what?
I've known him for
I've
10
known him
years.
forever.
He's my friend. He's like, yeah, but
It ain't.
Did
it
you-
ain't him?
yeah, well, he didn't see that shit until
No.
later. So
And they're like, look, we got to burn the rest of these bodies. So
Yeah.
they get like all of the kerosene they have for the winter.
right, they go dig out the whole little trough and pile all the shit up in there, and they like really saturate.
Yes, they do.
At this time, they are like adequately burning these
Yeah.
bodies.
And they realize kind of like, where's Blair?
Has anybody seen Blair? Where'd he go?
And they go look. But Mac catches what looks like Blair running back inside with an axe, and he goes out and looks,
Right.
and the fucking their equipment's all chopped up.
Right,
their-
like,
any
oh,
vehicle
no.
is all chopped up.
Yes, he's in there like throwing a shit fit, busting things up, busting up the radio, busting up the little computer things.
Because
He's
he don't
busted
want
up-
nobody to escape. So which makes me think
'Cause
he wasn't yet the thing.
maybe
because the
not.
thing wants out of there.
Yeah, because he's not.
And so why is he disabling all their
Yeah.
means of escape if he's already a thing?
maybe not.
So I
maybe
don't
not.
know. This is a
he
mystery.
really just went nutso finding out that he's like no one can leave. Like I feel like if he just would have explained it to them. Well, no, because
Right?
then he's
I
like,
don't
we all
know.
have to die, basically.
Basically, that the
'Cause
only way
the-
to fix this is for us all to die.
Have they asked Doc already if there's any way they can tell or not yet?
I think they're about to
About
mention
to?
the blood test.
Yeah, because he's in there with the gun. Everybody runs in. They're trying to calm his ass down.
So they finally, they disarm him. They lock him in the shed. Doc sedates him, and he's talking about not knowing who to trust. And this is where
Right.
Blair tells Mac to watch Clark.
Yes, he's like, he was alone with that dog for a long time. You need to keep a close eye on him because they take him out to the shed because Mac don't want him in his shack.
No. So the rest of them are all talking about holing up until spring, like just write it out. And Mac's like, nah.
No, we don't
At
have
least
time
one
for
of
that.
us, if not more, is not who they appear to be.
And by spring, it could be all of us.
And this is where Doc comes up with, you know what, I've been thinking about this blood serum test. Where like if we compare it to our whole blood samples that we already have, like it's gonna react because
Right.
this thing tries to defend itself.
Or no, I think that's what Mac comes up with. He just wants to test new blood against old blood.
Doc does it first, and Mac ends up doing it after
Oh.
Doc. After they decide like Doc can't be trusted, he does his own version.
Well,
of the
because
test. Or
they go
the
and
blood's
find the
ruined.
blood's ruined. Because
Right,
that's
so he
why I feel
can't
like they're
do
just
that
doing
test.
a comparison because it wasn't until after he
Well,
sees
nobody
what's going on
mentions
with
it.
Norris.
It defends itself. He
Oh.
mentions in the he doesn't say what the blood serum test is, but he's saying that like whole blood, their
Oh.
collected blood before, is going to
Oh,
react
maybe.
differently. So he
Oh,
never
maybe
really says what
it
he's
is.
going to do to the blood. Just he needs to compare it.
Okay.
But he does mention like if you attack it, it will defend itself.
Right.
So Mac warns the rest of them to watch Clark.
Right. He's all keep an eye on Clark.
And Mac tells Fuchs Blair's too far gone. Like, we can't help him. Just get his
Right.
notebooks. He's fucking
like
lost his
you
mind.
need to look at his stuff because that's what Doc is like. I need his help.
Right. He knows how to do this. So they find the blood and it's all ruined.
Oh, but who had access to the blood?
Only Doc and Eyebrows.
Yeah, and he's like, well, sometimes like somebody could have taken my key.
And Windows starts to back away all suspiciously, like, where are you going? Why are you taking off all of a sudden?
Like, what is your deal? Like, and he tries to go get a gun.
And Eyebrows is like, nuh-uh, I'll shoot your ass.
And that's when, like, after the whole shabiggity bang, Eyebrows is like, okay, maybe people will feel better if I wasn't in charge.
Right.
So Norris, you should be in charge. And he's like, no,
I don't want it.
I don't want to do
and
it.
Childs is like, I'll take it.
And
Clark's
no,
like,
him
nah.
and MacReady both go for it. And Clark's like, it's because
Mac
of that
take it.
beard. It's
It's
because
the
of that
beard.
beard.
He's got
it's powerful.
The beard means you're in charge. So they burn the rest of the blood in the snow, which I'm not really sure why they burned all the bags of blood in the snow, but
Because that could be infected. Well, that's the other thing. They talk about how highly infectious it is, and then everybody uses the same knife later.
right. They're not being as careful as
No.
they should be. And so Mac's talking about the thing doesn't want to show itself. It wants to hide an imitation. And if it
Right.
takes them over, then it has no more enemies and no one left to kill, and then it's won.
Right.
And there's a storm coming in 6 hours, so we're going to find out who's who.
Yeah, we're going to find out who the thing is.
So he separates out Doc, Garry, and Clark from the others and tells Norris and Child to shoot them up with morphine and tie them up. And the Doc's like, no, I got to help you. And he's like, no, you can just sit there and relax.
Right.
And Mac makes a little audio recording of himself, like to hide somewhere in case they all die, so someone knows what
He's like,
happened to all of them.
No one trusts anybody anymore. And now we just have to wait. And this could be anybody's underpants. And
Yeah, he's still pondering them rags.
right. He's like, I think it rips your clothes, but we don't know whose clothes these are.
So now Mac finds Fuchs working.
Yes.
And Fuchs suggests, you know what, we should probably all prepare our own meals
Yeah.
and only eat out of cans.
Right.
And,
we got to be extra careful, extra safe.
So he leaves and then Fuchs' light goes out.
Yeah, he's working all night. But he doesn't write a goddamn thing. No. Did you see his notebook? It was
just
like
empty.
fresh when he opened it, and it was the lights on. He turned the lights out.
was just
Notebook was
blank.
fresh. Put it back in the drawer. No ideas.
He has nothing.
Nothing.
So he lights a candle and goes out to find why, and somebody like passes him.
Oh, who's that?
And he follows him outside and lights a flare. And he finds MacReady's jacket all torn up outside.
Oh, weird.
Fuck, is he one of them?
I don't know.
So Mac's inside asking around for Fuchs. and
Right.
He wants Nauls to come out and look with him. Mm-hmm. And Palmer's like, I'll go look with Windows
I
or whatever.
turned my light
or
off.
I don't
want
to go look with Windows. So he sends,
Right.
and he's like, I'm not going with him because everybody
Right,
thinks
everyone's-
Windows is one of them.
Right.
So Windows goes with Mac, and then he's like, meet back in 20 minutes and watch whoever you're with real close.
Yes.
It's like Clue.
Right. I know. Like everyone's going to
You might be with the murderer,
but then we'll know what the murderer is.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, he's out there, and isn't this where he talks about like I turned my light off out there, so now we need to go.
Well, first they go to check on Blair.
Okay,
and Blair's still in his cabin. And why does he have a noose?
because he's tied
It's
a
just
noose.
a noose
He's
hanging
lost
up in
his
Blair's
mind.
cabin.
He has lost his mind.
And he doesn't want to stay there. He's
No,
like,
I
I'm
wanna
good.
come
I can
inside
come
now.
inside." And
I'm
they're
fine.
Like, no,
You just stay out here.
So Windows finds a lump in the snow of burnt mass with Fuchs glasses. And like, I'm not quite sure how Fuchs burned himself alive. Or
Well, that's what, because he took the, well, there was like the gasoline or the kerosene or whatever that was around. Is like he spilled that on himself and lit himself on fire.
And they don't know if like the thing did it to him or if he did it to himself
yeah, they were like,
to
why
not
would
turn
the
into a
thing-
thing.
Well, why would the thing do that to a host?
Right. So they
That's
think
why they
he
were
must
like,
have
he
burned
must have
himself
done
alive.
it. He knew he was about to become a thing, so that it was about to be a whole thing.
And this is where Mac notices, hey, I shut my fucking shack lights off
Right.
and they're on.
So we need to go check that shit out.
And we never do find out what was
No,
in his fucking shack.
no.
I don't think he just
Because
comes back.
him and Nauls go up there.
Yeah.
And then Nauls finds also the ripped up MacReady. Or no, he finds it
in the furnace.
In the furnace.
So now it's not. And now what? That makes no sense either. So Fuchs found that same piece of jacket out in the
Right.
snow where he lit himself on fire. So who carried it up to Mac's furnace and
Right.
shoved it in there?
I don't
and
know.
tried to burn it.
I don't know.
Weird. I don't know. So Nauls thinks Mac's one of them. He comes running back like it's fucking Mac.
Right,
Like, I
he
don't
cut
know.
him
I found
loose.
this in the thing, and then Mac's at the door.
Right. And they're like, well, don't let him in.
So you hear the supply window break, and now they got no choice.
Right.
So Childs breaks down the door with an axe, and Mac is in there. He is I know he's been out there 45 minutes, but wasn't he in the shack? Why he frozen half to death?
I don't know, because that's what they said. Like, no human could have made it back. Like, been out there that long or have seen to make their way back, because it's like full whiteout. They have to have a rope
to find where they're going.
Whatever.
Yeah.
So they're like, I don't know how he made it back, and he's like all ice cold.
His beard's all frozen. And
I know, and he's got a roll of dynamite and a flare.
Yeah.
And he's like, yeah, go ahead, light me up. If you light me up, everybody goes.
So he knocks Norris over, and all of a sudden, like, Norris just dies from getting knocked over.
He just like he got hit. Well, like he did get fucking like
knocked out.
Knocked and shoved into the wall or whatever, I guess. That's why I want to know how old Norris was.
Right? So Mac sends him for the doc, and the others like bring everybody in here. No one gets out of my sight now.
Right. Now I want to make sure I keep it on.
How old is Norris? 39.
No.
Almost 10 years younger than fucking Blair.
And younger than all of us.
And yet they looked the same. Yeah, younger than all of us. Wow.
Wow. That's doing it for me.
So Mac's holding his flamethrower on him while Doc's trying to revive Norris, and they use the paddles on him and nothing until
oh my God, this is so great. His guts open and the guys put the hands, the paddles slip in, and then he gets
belly
stuck.
bites his arms
him.
off. And didn't you say they used
a double amputee, and they made little gelatin arms, and they put a Doc mask on this person. Mm-hmm. And they stuck their arms in there, and it really chomped up these little gelatin arms. The effect is so good.
And then Max sets it on fire, and the head detaches and turns into Michael Caine.
Yes,
Does
it
it not
does.
look like
It
Michael
looks a little
Caine?
bit like Michael Caine.
And the tongue loops around a chair and
and
pulls
it's,
it across the
dragging
room.
itself, and then it sprouts little legs, and just casually.
And like you
just
think they're not going to notice this head spider
I'm just gonna
on its little Pazuzu trying to tap out of the room like tick, 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 tick. And they're like, what the fuck? And Mac lights that motherfucker up.
It
They're
was like Ginger from the Beetlejuice cartoon.
yes, with the little top shoes on. Exactly.
When they lit it on fire, when it was doing that.
Exactly. So Mac has a little test in mind.
Right. I got the idea from Norris because maybe all of the pieces will try to defend itself. So if you get the blood, it'll react to hot needles or whatever.
Or it'll
react
fight.
to something. Yeah, it'll try to get away.
So he tie everybody down real tight, and Clark seems to be on his side, but he pockets a little scalpel. So he's like,
Right.
yeah, do what he says, But he grabs the scalpel off the table and he's like trying to get close. And Child's like, you ain't tying me up. Well, then we'll have to kill you.
I'll do it. Okay, then do it.
And he's like, no, I'm for real. And he's like, okay, fine.
All right, fine. Tie me up.
And then Clark lunges with the scalpel, and Mac just shoots him fucking
right
dead.
between the fucking eyes. Between the eyes.
And he makes Palmer tie down even the dead bodies.
Yes.
And then Windows tie up Palmer.
That was probably pretty bright.
And so they'd start doing the thing. So they start taking blood, and why? In every old movie.
I know.
Why is the cut so deep and so long to collect a little bit of blood?
You could hear it when Windows cuts his thumb on the thing, and it's like there's more vascular places that you could get a decent amount of blood from.
You don't have to get right on the
You're going to need your fucking thumb, bro.
And do you need that much blood? Like,
I know.
You need a whole,
you could
half
hear
inch
it in the fucking room.
depth.
I mean, I know it's a tense moment, but Jesus, it sounds like he's taking a piss in a petri dish. Yeah. Blah, 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 blah.
Right? It was deep as
you
fuck.
gotta be careful. You get an infection out here, you'll die.
Seriously.
Oh, there's some eyebrows.
Oh, eyebrows.
Look at those things all
Hoolihan,
backlit and wild.
So Mac heats up some wire and starts poking it into the petri dish with the blood. So first he's like Windows, which is clean. Which Windows looked nervous as fuck. Like, I know, he thought he was the thing.
Right, because he was like, how would
sure.
you even know if it's a perfect replication? How would you even know if I was not me?
So nothing happens for Windows. He looks relieved. They try the Doc and Clark, who are already dead, and nothing, which means he's a murderer.
That's what Childs tells him.
Yeah.
That means you're a murderer because he wasn't one of those things.
And then they try Palmer, who you did not even suspect had anything going on with him.
Mac does his too. He was like, I'll tell you
he
what,
does
show
his
you
own,
what I
and
already
he's
know.
fine. Yeah.
Which, that's a surprise. But yeah, they go for Palmer's and
His blood reacts violently.
And I read a thing. It was like the hand that the Petri dish is in is fake.
Really?
Yeah, I guess because it reacts and it like jumps out of there, like has a little thing. But at first, when I read it, I was like, why would he have a fake hand? I was like, he's holding a little fake hand like in his arm. Because it wasn't connecting to me. I wasn't watching the scene when I was reading it.
Right.
And I was like, what was he afraid of the blood? And then when I
was
saw
just
it, I
for
was
the
like,
special
oh no,
effect.
that makes perfect fucking sense as to why that would be a fake hand.
So he starts like shaking and shit.
Oh, and they're like,
and his
unfucking tie us.
face is
We are
melting
tied
off.
to this
yeah, they're all
motherfucker.
stuck to him. Like, get us away.
He like slimes up out of the things.
flings up to the ceiling.
Well, Mac can't get the flamethrower to fucking work.
Yes, and so Windows has to blast him.
Right, but he doesn't do it in time. And like Palmer gets out and jumps in front of him.
And his
like,
head splits open.
oh, and he's got this big old long tongue. And then he just like munches him down.
He just swallows Palmer whole.
Right, and you can see his little legs. Ah, and they're like, ah, and then he spits him out.
And he crashes through the wall out into the snow. And Mac
Right.
finally fucking hits him with some TNT to
Well,
double
he
blow him
burns
up.
him,
Yeah,
and then he
burns him
throws
and then
a little
blows him
stick
up.
of dynamite and just. Pow. They're like, well, that was crazy. I guess we know that's what happened. So, because they're all like, this is bullshit. Like, this isn't gonna work.
But yeah, clearly it worked.
Clearly
but now
this is
everyone
a
else
valid
is clean.
test.
Nauls is clean. Childs is clean. And
Right.
even Eyebrows, who everybody thought was the thing.
Right, because he was the
Is
one that had
clean.
access to the blood. Well, do you last? And he was like, I would like to not spend the rest of the winter tied to this fucking couch.
Exactly. So now Mac tells Childs, we're going out to give Blair the test. And if we come back alone,
Without
burn
if
him.
he comes
Or if
back without
yeah,
us,
burn him. When they get there, so now here's where I have questions. They get
Right.
there and the door is open,
Yeah.
which indicates he escaped out the door.
Right.
But he did not. They find an underneath part.
But I don't think there was a way out of there.
But so what? He went out through the tunnel and came back and opened the door from the outside? Why was the door open if he
Girl,
didn't
I
get
don't
out
know.
that way?
He forgot
that
something. He had to get back in.
He didn't come back for the news because that's still hanging there.
Right, that's still there. Well, like all that shit's still there too.
Yeah.
Like it's all the parts from the helicopter and the tractors and all the
he's
other
now
shit.
built himself a little spaceship.
He must have been a thing.
He had
because
to have been.
That's why he would know how to build the fucking spaceship out of these parts.
Mm-hmm.
So at some point before he went in there, he was thingified.
I guess, yeah. And he found all the stolen parts that he took from the
Well,
vehicles.
he was the one that busted it all up, and he must have been able to get out and whatever. Because it didn't seem. Because that's what I thought too. I was like, oh, he dug his way out. But I don't think that once they got down there, he was just hiding that spacecraft down there. I don't think that's how
That seemed like it was
getting out.
already dug. That underneath part, like it didn't. It was.
He was the thing.
He was the
He
thing
was
that
the
whole
thing.
time. Okay,
The
Liana
whole
looked it up.
time.
The whole time. So
Zoinks.
So they go back and Nauls is like, I think I just saw Childs outside walking around.
Right. Like, hold on a second.
And the lights are out and the generator's blown. And now in 6 hours, they're all going to freeze anyway.
Right. None of us are making it out of here alive.
And Mac's like, well, yeah, it wants to freeze now.
Right.
Because then it can just sleep until the rescue team finds it. Like it has no way out now because
Right.
everything's disabled and we're on its fucking
Exactly.
case.
So now we got to heat things up.
We got to warm things up all
And
around
we're
her.
probably not going to make it. But the main thing is that we got to burn all this shit to the ground. Like that thing can't get out of here.
So they start with the little ship that Blair built. They blow that shit up and then they just start lighting up fucking everything.
Just burning things down. Fuck it, whatever.
And they get to the generator room and the generator is gone.
Right. He was like, well, what's wrong with you? He's like, it's gone.
It's not here.
It's not here.
So they start setting TNT everywhere to sink the whole place into the ice.
Right. They got Garry in there. They got Nauls in there. And they split up.
Why are you still splitting
Like
up?
Blair is out there.
And here he comes.
And here he comes. There to Blair be.
And wears eyebrows like a glove. Sticks his fingers right into his cheek skin.
Not my cheek skin. Rumpled cheek skins.
And then Nauls wanders away from Mac.
Right.
And Mac notices and lights up some TNT, but the floors come like
Right.
exploding
Like,
up
it's
to him. Like
it does that fucking tremors shit.
yes.
I was
Like a
what the fuck is
graboid
that?
fucking
Yeah,
tentacles
thank you.
coming up.
Yes, it
takes
comes
the
up.
detonator, the fucking
Right, the little
Acme Looney
plunger
Tunes
thing.
detonator.
I want to do one of those so bad. They need
Right?
to call me from Vegas next time they like demolish a building.
Please
I
let
want to
me
hit
demolish
the little,
something.
even if it's not real. I just want the.
Let us demolish something, please.
Can
Doom
we?
Generation
They got those
sponsored
things, those
demolishment.
places you could demolishment that you could go like bust.
Oh,
shit
the
up.
rage thing,
Yeah,
rage
those
rooms,
break
or whatever.
rooms.
Yeah.
But you can't blow things
I want
up.
to blow something.
I want to blow it up.
And then there's the thing in all its glory: dog head erupting out its side, half
and where-
human, half dog head on
Did
top.
it just remember the dog DNA? Because why is it?
Because they
dogs
killed the
again?
part that was the dog part, I thought.
That's what I thought
I
too.
get-
I was like, why is it a dog again?
Maybe it's like hive mind, like anything that
Maybe.
any piece of it absorbs, it
Right.
remembers the DNA of or something. Because yeah, it
Maybe.
definitely has some clear dog.
It was
parts
going
happening.
through its Rolodex of like, what can I be?
And it's got like extreme Freddy arms, like oh,
Mm.
and he's like, "Well, fuck you too," and hits it with the dynamite.
Oh,
Kaboom!
ba-boom.
And Mac survives and stumbles out into the cold, and Childs comes up with the flamethrower. Like,
Right.
you're
You the only
who
one?
made it.
Not the only one.
Did you kill it? Where were you, Childs?
I thought I saw Blair.
I went out after him, got lost in the storm. They won't last long.
Right? He was like, well, what do you want to do?
Let's just wait here, see what happens.
Like, let's have a little drinky poo.
And wide shot of the camp
Right.
burning, and just back to John Carpenter's The Thing.
Thing.
So do they
end.
survive? Are they things? We will never know because they did a prequel, not a sequel.
Well, there were some alternate endings that were. There was a couple that were filmed just in case the producer, or not the producer, the money people, whatever,
Right. Didn't like that ending.
the bleak ending. So there were a couple of somewhat happier ones, I guess. But that Childs freezes to death. Mac gets rescued. He's tested by some like shady government agency and passes again. But they know what the thing is, and that's like, okay, so that's that. Another shot shows a dog again, like a dog thing, looking at the rubble and whatever, and runs out into the snow to escape and do who knows what. And then also one where Childs just walks off into the snow, leaving Mac to die alone. Also kind of bleak. But then there was a couple of unfilmed endings where Mac and Childs have a final showdown. A rescue chopper saves them last minute. And also one where they both die with the last stick of dynamite. They like sacrifice themselves.
Oh, okay.
But there was a video game tie-in in 2002 that revealed that Mac lives and is picked up by a search and rescue team when Childs freezes to death. And John Carpenter says that that's canon.
Okay.
So Mac makes it.
Mac lives and is not the thing.
Yep.
Okay.
And they say that John Carpenter says Childs is clearly the thing because you can't see his breath.
Oh,
At the end, you
I
can
did
see
not
MacReady's
notice.
breath, but you can't see Childs. He's not breathing.
Did not
So that's
notice
what he
that.
says. But if going by the 2011 rules, Childs could not be the thing because his earring is still in his ear.
Oh, does it not like metal or something?
That's what they figure out. That's what her test is that it keeps, they find like everybody's fillings or
Oh.
like earrings or
Maybe that was why the doc had a nose ring.
Maybe.
Maybe they were gonna
Maybe.
do. Maybe the doc's test had something to do
yeah,
with the metal.
we're finding like piles of tissue of like people's bullshit or like pacemakers or fucking
And
hip
now I feel
bones
like
or
I'm
whatever.
crazy though. I'm gonna have to go find a picture of Dr. Copper with the
Right?
nose ring because I clocked it like right
I
off the
did
bat,
not-
but I had never noticed it before. And at first, like I said, I thought it was just like he
Yeah.
had some stuff
He's
on the
got a
side of
booger.
his nose, but then
It's a
every
thing.
scene I was like, no, that's like a gold nose ring or something.
Right.
But it was very slim. It
Huh.
was just like the edge, like
Huh.
just a little loop around the edge
What
of his
kind of
nostril.
freaky shit was he into back
kind
in
of
those
doctor
days?
are you in
I know. What
1982?
kind of
You got a
doctor?
little
Is that why you're out
nostril
here?
ring.
Is that why you're out here?
They sent you out to the snow. They're
What
like,
are you
freaky.
doing on your time off? He's got like a car battery and some fucking.
He does, right? Is he not have a nose ring?
He does.
Liana
He
looked it
does?
up and he
Okay.
does. Okay.
All right. Well,
And there's
I
no
didn't notice
mention
it.
of any of their past really. So
No, it's like they're pirates.
It's
like they're just
yeah.
It's like a bunch of or like Alien 3 where they're all in like the ass end of space, like they're all at the ass end of the earth. Like,
Yeah.
who are these people? Why? How did they get here? What are they even fucking doing out there?
And I don't know if the thing doomed me, except for to have the hots for Kurt Russell. But
Well,
many movies doomed me to have
there's
the
a lot
hots
of
for Kurt
movies.
Russell. This is not on its own.
I mean, that those special effects.
They're doomed me to love practical effects.
Yeah, for sure.
Because, like,
For
even
sure.
though you see the thing, you don't see the thing.
No,
it's
you don't.
different every moment you see it.
And that's where that prequel kind of loses because
it's
it shows
too much.
Like, it's not a full on like where it's just standing there staring at you, but
Right,
I feel
but
like
it shows
it's too
too much
much
detail.
It's not the shit that it does. It's the thing.
Right.
I'm like, I didn't really want to see that.
Yeah.
I didn't really want to see that.
But yes, we love the thing.
Yes,
if you
we
haven't
do.
seen it, please, please, please.
You should.
And do not mistake it for the 2011
No,
The Thing.
no. Although watch it, but don't watch that one first.
No.
Don't watch that one first. I know it's a prequel, whatever, but don't watch that one first. Watch the original thing, and then, with an open mind, watch the prequel. Watch
Which
the
I was gonna watch it, but it just wasn't streaming.
I know,
anywhere,
it's
so
not
I just
available
didn't-
anywhere. It's
Didn't
like
have a
rent.
chance.
It's right.
And on YouTube, if you just look up like making of the thing,
Mm-hmm.
there's a hour and a half special with John Carpenter and all the actors and all the special effects people where they go through
Yeah.
how all this stuff was done. So if you like to know how the
little
practical
background
effects were made.
Oh, another little thing is that this is one movie that John Carpenter did not score. He did not score
he
it.
does love to score his own films, doesn't he?
I forget the name of the person that did it, but they got a Razzie for it.
It was
People
like
didn't like it.
Enrico Pelletoni
There you go.
or something
Yeah.
like that. It was something
Yeah,
like
I
that. It was
almost
an
said a word
Italian
that's
sounding name.
a slur in a different language, and I'm not going to say it. But they got a Razzie for this one, but I think they used
A Razzie
for
the thing.
for the music and the
Oh, for the
thing. Yeah,
music.
for the music and
Well,
the
see,
thing.
the music didn't stand out to me.
No, it didn't. But
there
I
could have
guess they
been no
reused
music, and
it
I wouldn't have noticed.
for I feel like I want to say, and I could be wrong, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood,
Oh,
and got like accolades for it, but like it was the same shit.
I wonder if this is a situation like with Legend, where if this had been scored
Oh,
differently, like even though you
right.
love the thing, like if you
Right.
had seen the thing with a different with the John Carpenter score, would you
Right,
have been
like,
even
would
more
it-
like, oh my god, this
I mean,
fucking movie rules.
I do love synth music. I just
Yeah, right?
You know,
I
do
think it
love
could have
the
gone.
synth.
It's the 80s. Why not put some synth music in
Yeah,
there?
if they would have gotten Jerry Goldsmith, though, I don't know.
Don't know about
Get
that.
Tangerine Dream in there.
Get some Tangerine Dream
Get
on the thing.
Tangerine
Tangerine
Dream
thing.
on the thing.
So yes, we love the thing. You'll love the thing if you don't already. Welcome to December.
Yes, it is.
We're not doing
forgot to
anything
mention.
Christmassy this December, but
No, but we'll have a maybe a little clip show for you.
yeah, we've been
Little
saving
clip
up
show.
some best ofs. So
Saving all our love for you.
so whether or not you think it's the best of, you'll find
We
out what we
laughed.
think is the best of.
We laughed. It was the things that made us cry laugh.
And I think that's not next episode, but
No.
two more. Or no.
Next
This one, next
episode
one, and then the
is,
one after. I think
Kim's birthday episode is
Yes,
next.
we're doing Kim's birthday episode, and then we're gonna have some best ofs for you,
And then the New Year's
so
episode.
we can take a little Christmas.
We
break.
only have 2 more episodes
oh my
in
god
the year
for the
to
year.
record.
That's crazy.
Wow.
So until next week.
We'll talk to you next time. Later, Doomers.